y'all doing? Good to see you guys on this fine day. John Brecco, aka Johnny Sharp, here with you guys back again for another live stream. I'm really starting to like doing these, honestly. But while people are coming in, I'll just say a few general things. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. We are just a couple people away from 21,000 subscribers, hoping to hit 25,000 by the end of the year and hoping to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2026. Originally, when I started the channel, just to kind of share a fun fact as people are coming in, I wanted to try to 10x it each year. So 2023, I had the goal of 100. 2024 was 1,000. 2025 is 10,000. So far we've managed to do that. So I feel like getting 100K in 2026 would definitely be apropos. First person has come in the chat. Shout out to you. Appreciate you being on here, whoever you are, sir or madam. Thank you very much for your support. And thank everybody for their support as you guys come in. But what I wanted to talk about today was Monday Night Raw. And there's something specific in general that I wanted to bring up. And it's probably going to be pretty obvious. Shout out to Tyrese. What's going on, man? How you doing? Appreciate you supporting the live streams. As always, brother, thank you very, very much. Appreciate you. But there's a lot of different things that happened on Raw. Obviously, the Nikki Bella heel turn, Rhea Ripley did some things. I do believe there was a tag team championship match as well, if I remember correctly. I believe that was promoted last week. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. And Tyrese obviously just stated what we are going to be talking about, which is the newest Grand Slam champion in WWE history. And the crazy part about it is I remember being on the live stream yesterday and talking to a few people, and the topic of John Cena taking on Dominic Mysterio in his hometown of Boston last night came up in the live stream, and it was the first that I had actually heard about it. I remember, people were theorizing, hoping John Cena would take on Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship at some point when he only had a few dates left. But with that being said, I don't think any of us pictured that this would actually happen. I was certainly starting to lose faith in it with a fun match last night between Dominic Mysterio and John Cena. They had a fun back and forth. It started with John Cena coming out in his hometown of Boston. Shout out to Corey D, by the way. Appreciate you guys coming on. Appreciate you, sir, for leaving your comments down below. Anybody else wants to, feel free. Absolutely supporting that. See, we're even starting to have a nice little conversation, nice little back and forth. That's always fun. But with that being said, John Cena came out in his hometown of Boston, Massachusetts, or his home state, I should say, as a WWE superstar, which, typical babyface stuff. Nice to hear from John Cena. Gave a little bit of a babyface spiel, talked about the last time is now tournament and how somebody hopefully is going to get an opportunity from this to make a name for themselves. And obviously, he's not going down without a fight. Again, babyface stuff, typical babyface spiel. Nothing really that massive, although it's nice to see John Cena in his hometown in one of his final shows, so it works. Shout out to AN who came in the chat. I don't think I look like Chris Griffin at all. I think I have too much facial hair for that, but you can go ahead and have your opinion. For those asking, I'm from New Jersey. Shout out to India. Shout out to Mr. Comrade for just popping in the chat. Shout out to D'Anthony Foreskin. What kind of fucking name is that? Oh my god. You could have just put D'Anthony. Like, we didn't have to go with the last word over there. But Dominic Mysterio comes out in the middle of this babyface spiel, gets booed by the Boston crowd because it's, disrespectful in storyline. And, you know, Dominic has a little bit of a back and forth with John Cena. Basically calls him an old man, as he's been doing to a lot of people lately, as he's done to AJ Styles, as he's done to Rey Mysterio once again, and now he does it to who WWE calls the greatest of all time. I don't call him that, but he's definitely up there and has a massive legacy with WWE. And makes sense. It's been a running theme for Dominic Mysterio to do that. And ends up saying, even though John Cena tells him, you can walk back to the curtain right now out of respect for your father. You don't have to face me tonight. And basically says in Boston he's invincible. Dominic Mysterio, in all of his dumbassery, decides to follow that up with, in any era, I would whoop John Cena's ass. And personally, and I've already said this on Shorts, I don't see it happening from the current era to the PG era to even the custody of Dominic era. I definitely 100% don't see that happening. But Triple H heard those words. Time. This looks like a good time. Any place. Boston seems like a great place. John Cena's hometown, so it's a fair point. And tells Dominic Mysterio that he is defending the Intercontinental Championship here, right now, and he gets a referee. And we have a fun match. I will be honest, I did fall asleep in the middle of it because I have two jobs. I have been out since 8 in the morning. I get home a lot of times as late as 11 at night, and I was very tired. But I loved the back and forth that John Cena and Dominic Mysterio had. What I saw of the match was a lot of fun. And a really fun spot where Dominic Mysterio tried to cheat to win by handing John Cena a chair and falling onto the mat. And John Cena, no hesitation, usually hesitates, tries to figure out what to do, acts like they're like, oh my God, I'm going to get DQ'd. What should I do? What's going to happen? And John Cena just had absolutely no hesitation. And I kind of love it when guys do stuff like that. It does break the fourth wall a little bit in a way, but at the same time, like, if you've seen people do it before, why wouldn't you react like that? Why wouldn't that be what you do? But before we get into how that match ended, most probably know already, shout out to Ducky Bubbles. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you coming on to the live stream. Appreciate you. Appreciate all of your guys' support. I am on the dry side of my car, just so I can answer your question. Shout out to Peruvian team. Shout out to Unscripted Vlogs. Appreciate you coming in. Anybody who's coming in automatically helps this grow. So I do appreciate every person's support 1000%. Shout out to Flea. Bro, just curious, is your voice okay or is it the mic? It's probably the mic. I feel fine. So just to answer your question, John Cena, Tyler Innocence. We'll just go with it. I'm not exactly sure what you're trying to say, but shout out to WWE Army. Appreciate you supporting the shorts as well as the live stream. Appreciate you being a supporter of the channel, sir, as well as the rest of you guys. 1000%. But John Cena, Dominic Mysterio continue to have a back and forth in their match. Dominic Mysterio eventually hits the 619. Greatest of all time. John Cena, your opinion. Hits the frog splash. John Cena rolls through after being hit with the frog splash and picks Dominic Mysterio up, puts him in the AA. Classic spot from John Cena. And we get the 1, 2, and the 3. And John Cena has officially become an Intercontinental Champion for the very first time in his career in one of his last 4 appearances. John Cena has 3 appearances left. Just 3. We are in the final stretch of the John Cena retirement tour, and they decide to give John Cena the Intercontinental Championship. And to be honest, as far as Dominic Mysterio goes, this was the only way I wanted him to end up losing the Intercontinental Championship right now. And to be honest, Dominic Mysterio has had a pretty good run with the championship. Let me get to this question. Cena is the greatest of all time. It's not even in question. Prove me wrong. Okay, first, why do you say that John Cena is the greatest of all time? I would love to hear your argument on why he's the greatest of all time. Definitely leave your argument in the comments. I do think there's people that you can put on that list as well. I think you could put Ric Flair on that list. I think you could put The Undertaker on that list. Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. They all have arguments for that. Look at the numbers. Are you just talking about John Cena in championship wins? Because if you're just talking about the amount of championships he's won, then okay, it's a fair argument, but look at the amount of championships Ric Flair has won. Look at the amount of championships that The Undertaker has won. Look at the amount of moments The Undertaker's had, especially at WrestleManias. There's arguments for everybody that I just mentioned. If you want to go with just 17 championships, that's your prerogative, but I think there's more to it than title reigns. I think there's storylines that we remember. I think there's moments that we remember. I think there's matches on certain pay-per-views that we remember. I think there's more to it than personally with just the championships. He's up there with the best of them. I do agree with that. I think that is 1000% true. We had a lot of comments just coming out of nowhere. Shout out to Rohit Combo. Shout out to Tier Pacerno. Shout out to Jackson. Appreciate all you guys coming in the chat. Appreciate Cross Me Out. Yo, what's good, bro? Appreciate you coming in. Yes, we do. And we're talking about it right now. You are better than the greatest of all time, Johnny. I don't know about that, but I do tend to think I'm building something at least halfway decent. And I'm glad we've got a lot of support. So we have Jackson here saying that he feels like Stone Cold Steve Austin is the greatest of all time. Stone Cold Steve Austin is my favorite wrestler of all time. I don't think he's the GOAT personally, but I think Steve Austin definitely had one of the best runs of all time with his Stone Cold character in WWE. I think that's what made him into the legend that he is today. Stunning Steve Austin certainly didn't do that. Stunning Steve Austin was decent, but it wasn't Stone Cold. But I think he has the best merch of all time, and I think he has one of the greatest, probably 5 year stretches that we've ever seen. So I'm not mad that you think it's Stone Cold. He is my favorite. I just don't agree that he's the GOAT. Just my personal opinion. Your beard is wild berserker vibes. That's the first one I've heard. I've heard Red from My House is Dirty. I've heard Queso. I haven't heard Wild Berserker yet. Tell me where that's from, because I have no earthly idea, but I do like seeing a new term with my beard. Amish is a little bit played out for anybody that is going to comment that in the future. Your favorite John Cena moment? See, John Cena's had a lot, and this is why he's up there with some of the greatest wrestlers of all time. I think his match with Edge at Unforgiven was a great moment for John Cena. I think he had been built up in that title reign really well to a point where fans actually really got annoyed with John Cena. I remember back then. But, I mean, having the title for over a year is absolutely a big accomplishment, especially when you have a year title reign when you have as many as 17 championships. That's a long time to hold the title. And think about the amount of time you had to be in the WWE title picture to have 17 title reigns and one of them be over a year long. That is crazy to me personally. But I mean, he's had a lot of other great matches. He's had an hour-long match with Shawn Michaels on Monday Night Raw. Had a lot of classics with Shawn Michaels, actually. I think John Cena had some of his best matches with Shawn. Just my personal opinion. Um, but I mean, he's been in the ring with guys from Brock Lesnar in '03 in the Ruthless Aggression era to Triple H to The Rock to The Undertaker to Seth Rollins to Austin Theory. now Dominic Mysterio. The list really does go on and on and on for John Cena, which makes it crazy the amount of careers that he's impacted. John Cena, he just had a match with Dominic Mysterio, as we've said about 5 times in this video. Think about it. When John Cena was when Dominic Mysterio, was in the custody of Dominic ladder match in 2005, John Cena was already 3 years into his career, and he was in the middle of his very first WWE title run. And Dominic Mysterio was 8 years old in the middle of that angle. That's how long John Cena has been around. When John Cena debuted, had his pay-per-view debut in Vengeance of 2002, the main event of that pay-per-view was for the WWE Undisputed Championship, the very first iteration of it when WWE and WCW had just combined their world titles. And the main event of that match was for that championship. And it was between The Rock, The Undertaker, and Kurt Angle. It's just wild to me. And it was against Chris Jericho, by the way, which is also wild. More wild that Chris Jericho is wrestling than him wrestling John Cena at that pay-per-view. But like the stuff that we're talking about compared to the people that he's been in the ring with now, all of it's just wild to me. I'm sorry if I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but about time he got his ass kicked by John. Yeah, I mean, when else were we going to see it if we weren't going to see it now? And even Rey Mysterio said it in the back, which was kind of funny. He's one of the GOATs. I agree. I don't think he's the GOAT, but I wouldn't mind. Shout out to Vikas Coomer. Appreciate you being on the live stream with us. Appreciate you supporting the channel. Shout out to Cole, who's left a few comments. My beard is on the GOAT list. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the love for my beard. I try to make sure it at least looks halfway decent. Like, I try to make sure when I come out that it doesn't look like I slept on one side. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Rahul. Appreciate you being a hater in the comments and deciding to say that I'm unemployed. I'm actually in the middle of shifts right now, so I'm probably out here doing more than you. Stone Cold Steve Austin is the real OG. Definitely one of them for sure. I agree with that. Roman Reigns had his title for a year. Roman Reigns had his title for almost 4 years, actually. Roman Reigns, in my opinion, has the greatest world championship run of all time. I don't get mad when people say Roman Reigns is the GOAT. I don't agree, but I do think he had the best championship run. We didn't get bored of that for almost 4 years, which I think is amazing. So that was an awesome time to be a part of, especially because that started out with COVID and we were still enjoying ourselves. But let me know if you guys want me to do a video on Roman Reigns' title run, and I will absolutely hop on a live stream and talk about it because there is so much that you could talk about with Roman Reigns' championship run. You could talk about Jey Uso, the right-hand man. You could talk about his first couple of matches with Jey, how he seemed like a different person when he came back before he even won the title. You could talk about how Jimmy entered the conversation, both when he was injured and when he was out of action. You could talk about their dominant title run within Roman Reigns' dominant title run. You could talk about Sami Zayn becoming a part of that and wanting to be in that storyline, in that family. You could talk about Kevin Owens' involvement over the years with the bloodline. You could talk about Solo Sikoa. You could talk about all the different wrestlers that Roman Reigns went up against during his time as champion because there was so many. I know title defenses were few and far between at the end, but again, there's so much we could talk about. I'm really scratching the surface with that one. Hi from New Jersey. Shout out to New Jersey. Let's go. I'm from New Jersey. That is awesome. Shout out to Nash. Shout out to Ashley Neubauer. Oh my God. It's so good to have somebody from New Jersey in here. That is awesome. Cena, Rusev, I Quit match. So you're saying John Cena should be in an I Quit match and quit in his last match? I don't think that should be a thing. I don't know if I want to go with that. If you're wanting to tell me that you want Rusev to take John Cena out, that I'm here for. I'm not here for John Cena quitting in his final match, if that's what you're trying to say. We're all waiting for Jericho to come back. That's very true. That's been coming up in a lot of these live streams, so I would agree with that. Shout out to Deucip. Hi, host. Hello to you too. Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you enjoying the chat. Appreciate you being here with us and supporting the channel. We're about 20 minutes in, so make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe. Again, help support the channel. Help us get to 21,000 subscribers. Low key, I'm hoping because we're so close to 21 that I get off this live stream whenever I'm done with it, and all of a sudden we have 21K. That's the hope. I don't actually know if that's going to happen, but man can dream, right? Shout out to FF Max Gamers, excuse me. Appreciate you coming on the show. Appreciate your support as well as SPW Wrestling Club. Shout out to you. Shout out to Jackson. Roman Reigns had the title for like a year, but he had help from the bloodline. As I said, he had it for about 4 years. Edge is better. Edge is one of the GOATs in wrestling as well. I don't know if I've enjoyed his AEW run as much as I have the things he's done in WWE. It feels weird to me. I've never really adjusted to it, but that's just my personal opinion. Cross me out. 14-time WWE champ, 3-time World Heavyweight champ, 5-time US champ, 1-time IC champ, 4-time tag team champion, 1-time Money in the Bank winner, 3-time Chamber winner, 2-time Rumble winner, absolute GOAT. People don't normally talk about the Chamber matches in statistics like that, and maybe that might be a good idea. You might be onto something when you include that. Cross me out. Shout out to you, man. You look like I told you guys a Queso one was coming. SPU Wrestling Club. I knew it. I knew somebody was gonna say it. Shout out to Casey Klug. Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you supporting here. Appreciate you interacting with the show. Who had a battle with cancer? I'm still kind of going down the comments, so I hopefully will see this as we keep going. Um, Shout out to Ayush. Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you commenting and interacting, even though you retracted your comment, good sir. I don't know why people retract their comments. Like, let me read what you're going to say, bro. Do you think Chris Jericho is going to come back to the WWE? So many people say it that I do think it's going to happen at some point. I don't know when. It would be kind of cool if it did happen on this retirement tour, but no, there's no way to actually know, but it would be kind of dope. We've got Wicked Vlog Story. Shout out to you. Hello from Tamil Nadu. I'm not sure where that is. You might have to be a little more specific. Yeah, John Cena can't quit his last match. Absolutely not. That at this point would make no sense. I feel like if he stayed as a heel, then I could see that, but that's not the route we decided to go on. So this is where we're at. And if you're going to take John Cena out, you can't take him out quitting. I will support you. God bless you. God bless you as well, sir. Appreciate your support. Please keep doing it. Brother, you look like Shara Bullet. I still don't know who that is. And I don't know where Dagstan is either. So, but shout out to you, Caliber 007. Appreciate you being here. I'm a part-time professional wrestler. Yo, no way. Let people know about your shows, man. Let people know where they're at. I would love to figure out some shows that are going on in wrestling in New Jersey. I've done a couple FWF shows, but no storyline really happened from that. So I would love to hear about other shows as well, though. Steve Austin is the GOAT. Your opinion? I just disagree. I'm such a John Cena fucking crybaby. Okay, my bad. Honestly, man, there's been a lot of Cody crybabies that have come out over the past few years. So you're not the first crybaby, probably even just in this chat. So it's all right. Jericho Rumble. If that's a possibility. Chris Jericho could do it. If he were to come back that late, though, he wouldn't get to interact with John Cena at all, which would kind of suck. But, I mean, hopefully we get to see a little something more with maybe some people from the past and maybe a couple new wrestlers as well. Maybe we'll see something, maybe we won't. I have no idea. But if he comes back that late, we would miss that, which would kind of suck. But it would still be kind of cool to see him in the Rumble. What if he wins a Rumble as well? Because he's done surprise entrances before. I don't know. I feel like it'd be even cooler if Jericho won Money in the Bank. But again, that's just my opinion. Love from India. Shout out to India. Shout out to Berlin, Germany. I didn't know Cole was from Berlin in Germany. I would have had no idea. So thank you for sharing that. Shout out to you guys in Germany. Appreciate you. Shara Bullet is a Russian MMA fighter. There's worse things that I could look like. So I'm not mad at this at all. Let's definitely stick with that instead of queso. Let's go with Shara Bullet. I like this a lot better. Someone said Cam Scataboo recently, but I think my hair is a little bit too long for that, and there's a little too much facial hair. There's a lot going on here. Um, Hater, Cena is not the GOAT. Me, you must be some kind of a dumbass. I guess I'm a dumbass then. I'm sorry, guys. You could all call me a dumbass in the comments now. I'm sure some of you might. Shout out to Russia here as well. Now I know where Dagestan is. Appreciate you educating me, good sir. Appreciate you, WWE Army. Appreciate you, Ashley. I need to get back in the ring training. How long has it been since you've been in the ring? How come you haven't been wrestling? I want to see some of your shows, man. You should let us know where they're at. Caliber 007. Look up Shara Bullet. I will after I'm done with this group chat. Deborah Ellington, the man they call Deborah, is back in the group chat. Appreciate you being here, bro. Oh man, the man they call Deborah is back. That is cool. Shout out to Chris Sosi. How about Rock Cena? With the time we have left, I would like to see other matches. I think I'm okay with not seeing Cena and The Rock go up against each other for a third time. I think people are just going to have fun with John Cena in his last match in general, no matter who's in the ring personally. But I would rather see other stuff. Just my opinion. Andre the Giant is goated. Definitely for his time. Probably the best big man during his time that was in wrestling. One of the biggest icons in wrestling, probably even to this day. So you're not entirely wrong. Shout out to Buhapti. I butchered that, but I appreciate you coming in. Appreciate you joining us on here. Appreciate you leaving comments. Means a lot for your support. So shout out to Jay. Quotex wrestling exclusive, the trailer, yeah. Under an office, people around SRM dance for gaming horror or Journey No Live. So basically, that was English, but it was not English. Like, that was just words that were put together, maybe even in just autocorrect. This man just might have autocorrected message this comment and this live stream an entire paragraph, which is just unnecessary. We've got a great Kali mention. Not my favorite wrestler, but iconic in his own right. Cross me out. Am I the only one that wants to see Santino Marella? I mean, I would have loved it if we got to see another Milan Miracle type of match between him and Ethan Page. I think that would have been so dope, especially if he were to come out as the NXT North American champion. But it does make sense to have Ethan Page with the title, especially making fun of America as much as he is. So I think his gimmick is going too well for that to actually happen, and that wouldn't have made a lot of sense long term. Would have been a cool moment, probably would have been a bad idea in actual execution. But we still got to have a fun match with it. WWE Army, can we all start a wrestling league together, please? I want in. Beautiful. I don't know how I would be able to afford that, but you want to put something down on it, probably wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. There's probably been people out there with worse ideas. Um, Cole, The Rock turned lightweight. He did for one of his most recent movies. I think it was called The Smashing Machine, if I remember correctly. I forget the guy he played, but he did lose a lot of weight for that film. So, yeah, he did turn into a little bit more of a lightweight. You're 100% right. Shout out to Jackson. You've been in the chat for a while. I'm not sure why you've been saying hi. I've been on and off for a few years. You don't have to share why if you don't want to. I'm sure you got reasons, but whenever you decide to go with a show, I would absolutely love to see you wrestle, especially because you're from New Jersey as well. Once again, shout out to you, Ashley. I think John Cena's final opponent is really going to be Edge. Tell us why you think that, Deborah, because I absolutely do not see that happening. I think Edge is going to be in AEW still, and John Cena is very clearly made it obvious that he is a WWE lifer. So, yeah, that's not happening. I don't think it's happening at all. Shout out to whatever these symbols say. Hi on key. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you tuning in. Shout out to Josiah Kenyon. Appreciate you being here as well, good sir. Thank you for interacting with the chat. Jay, are you a wrestler? I am not. I've been in a few shows, but more so as a manager and a commentator. So I haven't actually been in the ring. Shout out to Buhapti. I'm not sure who Roman Renage is. I'm sure he's very talented, though. And he also loves Roman and John. So, I mean, those are two very good superstars, two legends right there. So, it's not a whole lot not to love. The Rock is undernutritioned. He probably was in that new role, but the movie got a lot of buzz, so it probably was worth it for him. Ashley Newbear, shout out to you again. Shout out to Need Some Stuff. I'm trying to figure out what this man needs specifically. Like, he says he needs stuff, but he's not telling anybody exactly what he needs, which to me is kind of off putting. I don't understand that, but yeah, he's doing his thing, bro. Shout out to India once again for appearing in the chat. But a lot of things happen on Raw, like I was saying earlier. Nikki Bella heel turn, Rhea Ripley, stuff with the Vision. They brawled with CM Punk and Jey Uso for a bit. John Cena being the biggest one, winning the IC championship. Um, let's look at some of these. Do you watch Appalachian Mountain Wrestling? It's my favorite promotion right now. I haven't watched it. Maybe I'll look it up after this ends. If we keep commenting, that might be a little while actually, but definitely might look it up at some point. Um, Deborah Ellington. So when Edge left, he told Christian Cage that he needed to go away for a while because he had some important business to take care of, and he also said that he might not ever. It's obvious. Not necessarily. I mean, he could come back to AEW and he might just be trying to build tension for a storyline there. So I can't really say that's obvious, to be honest with you. Tell everybody my name is the Blowout Man. I don't know how many people are going to watch matches if you're called the Blowout Man. I'm sure there's going to be sometimes shows with 20 or 30 people that'll have some weird kink. But who knows? It could work better than you think. John Cena for the WWE Hall of Fame. I agree with that. I think it would make a lot of sense to do it in WrestleMania 42 weekend. I think it would make a lot of sense to do for 2027. I wouldn't even be mad if we waited a little bit and gave John Cena a little bit of time to do other things, but I think that's an awesome idea. I agree with that 100%. Bro, give a shout out to Waka Choppa. I'm not sure who Waka Choppa is, but shout out to Waka Choppa. Shout out to Need Some Stuff. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Shout out to Al B. I don't know what's with the bear emojis, but appreciate you being here. Shout out to Glenn Reynolds. I'm not sure who you're mentioning is, and no, I'm not Russian. But that's basically what happened on Raw. And if you want to keep interacting with the live streams, let me know your thoughts in the comment section as this gets posted up. It'll probably take a few minutes because we went on for a while. I'm glad you guys are interacting with these, and shout out to you guys for doing that. It really, really does mean a lot. I actually didn't expect this to go this long, and now I don't have as much time to get stuff I need to get done as I wanted. I still should have enough time, so it's all good. Namaste to you as well, sir. Again, make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe. Help us get to 25K by the end of the year. Appreciate all of you guys and all of your support. I mean, maybe he could make a one-off appearance or something. Probably not, but I mean, we've seen stranger things. Don't forget the women at the end of Johnny and Eli Sky. I'm not sure that who they are, but again, thank you guys for so much supporting, and I will see you guys next time. War Games!